What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bricks and Toys. And this is my baby. No, seriously though, this set right here happens to be probably one of my most treasured sets. And you know, a lot of my newer sets are probably going to be as treasured as this one, but not as much. And I'll go into a brief detail to why. So, a little bit of a backstory on this set in particular. There was once upon a time I got into Lego and I didn't quite have a YouTube channel yet. I just happened to get a few sets through a little side hustle that I was a part of. That's what started this whole hobby. Then once I got going, I bought a set here, a set there, and then I lost my job and I started this whole crazy YouTube channel. Well, one of the sets that I bought as a set here and a set there was this set right here. Now, I don't remember if I got it when it came out, which was sometime in 2020, or if I got it in the fall of 21. I do remember getting it somewhere in the summer or the fall at Costco. He did retail for about $89, but I think I paid like $79 for him at Costco. I remember back when I bought this set, to spend that much money was like, oh. But he's so cute. This goes back to when Grogu was known as the child, and there was only, I think, season 2 at that point, or season 1 or season 2. It had to be season 1 because we found out his name in season 2. So, yeah, I've had this guy for quite a long time. Unfortunately, this set did retire December in 2023. I thought it just retired just a few weeks ago in December 2024, but wrong. This guy retired a whole year ago, and I didn't even know. Again, I wasn't even looking because I had him, and that's all that mattered. But then, Lego being Lego, they do what Lego does best. They replaced it with this. This is set number 75403, 1048 pieces, 10 and older, Grogu with hover Pram. Somewhere in Lego, they thought, we need to do it again. Like DJ Khaled, another one. And that's what they did here with this set. They found a way to take what already was perfectly fine and try to make it better. And in today's video, we're going to see if they actually succeeded. Now, let's talk about the box really freaking quick, and then we'll talk a little bit about how maybe it could be better before we actually get into the build. So this is not a series of sets or anything like that. This is the new traditional, I'm going to stick around for a little while Star Wars type packaging that we see on the, adolescent Lego sets, not the 18 and older stuff, which is basically the stripe here, the greebled on the corner, Star Wars. We got the set imposed in the desert, which is, where a lot of this stuff gets filmed at. We got him obviously hovering. He's holding the ball still. We got a little frog thrown in there, let you know that there's some additional accessories included with this set. We do get a little tiny Grogu minifigure proposed down at the bottom. And then we get a little minifigure of the Mandalorian with Grogu, showing you that this is part of the Mandalorian theme. Now, on the side of the box, we get more of a little, zoomed in shot of Grogu and the hover Pram. Over here, we got some writing in different languages. At the top of the box, we got our country of origins and a little one-to-one of the Grogu that we are expected to get. And then down here at the bottom, we have the recycling information, Legal Eagles barcode, and all of that. And then looking at the very back of the box, this is where we'll start seeing if there could be anything that they couldn't have improved on with replacing my dude over here, which has been one of my, like I said, this is my baby, right? Okay, back on track. So we see that we have head motion, ear motion. We got some gears to make some arm motion. As we saw on the front, we got some frogs. We got some 2x2 elements stacked up on each other for two pieces that look to resemble maybe the blue cookies. Then we have the hover pram itself, which looks pretty freaking cool. It is on a pedestal to resemble that it is hovering. And then we do have another little stand. This time it says Grogu with a hover pram with a child in it. It looks like it's going to be built kind of the same way as the existing, but now it's going to have the accurate name. The tile also looks to be printed, where this one was a sticker, and I didn't put the sticker on too well because I wasn't good at putting stickers on back then. So ways I think that this could be better. Well, we have movable arms. Well, with this guy, well, he is what he is what he is. He does not move. His fingers move a little bit. I don't want to move him too much. He's been through now 3 different houses, maybe 4. No, 3. So I want to be careful with him. Now, it says that his head moves. Well, this one moves a little bit, back and forth, side to side. Also says that his ears move. Well, his do too. Now, I don't think the eyes move on either one of these, and it looks like he's going to have a lot smoother of a complexion on his face. We have a lot of like the sand green corner elements and stuff making up his face on the 2020 model, but it also looks like they did take out some of the depth of the ears on this one versus this guy. This guy you can put your whole finger, 1 brick deep in, where this one looks like it's going to be more on the surface. His burlap sack, as I like to call it, does look a lot more finished, where with this, it took more of the approach of like the Yoda from 2018 that I have also right behind me, and it's really sturdy. Now, I don't know the dimensions. There is no dimensions on this, so I don't know how this is going to pale in comparison. Also, there is a hover pram instead of him just stuck on the thing, which I think they should have done that with this one to begin with, but at least now we're here. So throughout this video, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep my baby here throughout this entire video because we are going to kind of film them together. So now let's bring you guys in a little bit closer. Let's unbox this together and see what we can expect from this build. So I'm going to make sure that the child is here to watch the unboxing of his newer self throughout this experience. So are you paying attention? Perfect. Okay, we're going to have 2 punch tabs, 1 and 2, and that gets it going. Now we're going to open it up, and now you're going to get our first look inside of the box. We have a load of dead space. Now let's do our pour. There we are, nice and firm. So we have a number 10 bag right here on top. I'm going to say that is our most amount of bags that we're going to have. We're going to have 10 total with this set. Let's count them out, see if that's true. Okay, so we got a stack of 5. We got a stack of another 5 for 10, but I was wrong. 11. Somehow they stretched this into 11 bags. Now we do have 2 books. We have a book 1 and a book 2. We do have our QR code to get our 20 points. And then we do have a little tiny sticker sheet here with 5 stickers. Looks like 1 is a duplicate, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 total. 5 is obviously going to be that little back of the frog. Now let's see what we get for book number 1. Well, it just goes right on into it. Looks like this builds Grogu himself and the frog, it seems. We're going to have 132 steps total with 59 pages to get this thing started. And then on the thicker book, we're going to build the hover pram. We are going to restart with the step number 1 on bag number 5. And then we're going to finish out with 180 steps, building the stand with 108 more pages. And that is the set. So we've all been here before. We all know what's next. Do you know what's next? Well, unfortunately, I can't speak through the Force, so only he knows what you guys already know, and that is, well, here's the review of the set fully built. Okay, let's dive right on in and let's get this review cooking. Just gonna do this one absolutely free-handed, and then after the fact, we can talk about the existing child. Going into the new Grogu, no longer named the child, we have it with a pram. Grogu himself is scaled down quite a bit to fit into the pram, where the pram is about the same scale as the child. We'll talk more about that later on. We now have his ball, now no longer metallic, just right there, with the frog, first sticker element there. sticker element right there on the Pram. There's one of these on each side as well as one of these. That's going to be your sticker elements. Now looking at the building details of the Pram, it's pretty much built flat with curved elements on the sides and the front and back. There is some elements right here that are just kind of like put in on with a hinge mechanism and folds up. It is a little bit wider on the sides than it is going from this distance, so it's narrow. So it's not a perfect square like you would think. It is a oval. We can see lots of part usage there, but really easy to use, kind of like window pane pieces in white for the top. Overall, not too much to really report about the Pram. It is the majority of the build to make it fit. Now, let's go on and let's talk about Grogu. Now, Grogu, he just lifts right on out. Super simple. And I do want to give you guys a look at the inside. They did finish it off quite nice for a play model. Not a lot of negative studs or exposed studs. We do see 4 studs in the middle to help lock it in, with some ingot tiles to help guide it into place. And that is the Pram. It does sit on a detachable base that you can remove if you choose to. And that comes off just like this. And there is that detachable base. And that locks in right down there on that black tile in the middle. Now the set does include its fair share of accessories, including 2 Navarro nummies, or whatever they're called. This is just 2 elements, pretty basic. And then we get a look at the baby itself. Now the ears do not go up all the way, they just go even to down. That is important to note. I do like the new little added white spots on the eyes to add some detail. Everything is done in a really miniature, scaled down fashion. The accessories clip in through basically 1x1 little studs attached to his little finger elements. We do have some gears to make motion on this guy. I'll show you that a little bit later on in the video, as it's kind of hard to do with one hand. We can see if we can do it with the frog. See, there we go with the frog. Yoink! It's pretty cool. Getting you guys up a little bit closer, you guys can see how everything is pretty much finished off with the detail. There is basically a core, and then there's 4 sides that strap onto the core, making his little burlap sack, and his head's made of random pieces, but nothing that's finely detailed, as the ears look really flat and stuff like that. Taking a look at the frog, again, not a lot of detail with that frog, it's just pretty basic. Looking at the bottom of the model, you can see where those ingot tiles lock in, which is going to be right in between here. And then we got these little studs here, making what I would like to think is his little toesies. The child does go very easy right back into the Pram and locks in, thanks to the use of those ingot tiles to lock it in. And there he is. He's all back in. Now, taking a look at the stand, we can get his specs. This one is printed. The home world and species is still unknown. He's still age 50. He's now 0.39 meters. His primary associate is Den Djarin. And his favorite snacks is the Sorgan frogs and Navarro nummies. And his main transport is Hover Pram. Note the little miniature Grogu minifigure that we've seen in a million sets by now. Still the same minifigure. And he's in the little Pram micro build. One last detail I wanted to point out with this set is in the actual instructions. Step number 7, you build this little inside piece right here that you never see again. This is in his deep down core. You see that little green heart? They literally put a heart in him. And like with the brickheads later on down the road, he's got a pink 2x2 plate to represent a brain. But the heart really got me. I thought that was so freaking sweet and really cool. Now let's kind of compare these two. So like I said earlier, I do think the scaling is 1-for-1 when you count the Hover Pram with this. Now, to make the Hover Pram to where it's almost the same scale as that guy, well, that's why he's sized down a little bit. But I do like the fact how both of these models are pretty much the same exact size, with almost the same exact, well actually it is the same exact, almost little display plaque. Now let's look at what the display plaque said 4 years ago, or yeah, about 4 years ago when this set came out. Still, the home world and the species is unknown. Age is still 50. You think he'd be about 54 by this point, or you know, maybe not. It is important to note that his height went from 0.39 now down to 0.337 meters, so that changed. His primary associate is still Din Djarin, but at this point we know him as the Mandalorian, and his favorite toy, not a snack, is the Razor Crest shifter knob, which, you know, we could see him featured here. I never did a build on this guy on my channel because I didn't have a channel when I originally bought him, but I had a channel now to build this guy. That's all I really have to say about these. Let's zoom out and wrap up the video. Now it's time to bring this video to a close, and I kind of want to share just a little bit of geeky facts about these two sets, and then I'll take him back out of the hover pram and kind of show you how he kind of interacts with both of your hands. But to start out with, this set, like I think I said at the beginning of the video, was about $80 or $90 about 5-ish years ago. He did have 1,076 pieces. And with that, you got this extremely sturdy burlap sack build with some green sticking out of it. It's extremely detailed. I love the depth in his ears. This has been one of my, by far favorite models. I really enjoy looking at this model. I always feel like every time I move, I take, really good care of it to make sure it doesn't get broken. He's just been a really good member of the family. But then you got the new guy in town. And now he's named accurately, he's 1,038 pieces, and now you can kind of see a little bit of that inflation with Lego, because now he's $100. The model is spread out. I'm not going to bash it on detail because it's now spread out. We could not, as a playset, technically make a Grogu model with this detail and size with an equally detailed and size hover pram. That may not be very good for the marketing, and maybe that's why Lego didn't do it. It was a good call for Lego to pretty much replicate the size with the hover pram and then scale Grogu down to fit into it. And a really cool additional detail with the new one is we do got the extra cookies, another type of gear shift knob, and that frog. I think that's really cool. I do like the whole hover pram aesthetic. It's really nice to be able to pop him out. If you do it right, you don't break him into a bunch of pieces like I just did. And then another feature that I like with the new one is how easy it is to put the accessories on, and then you can move his hands. I'm trying to move them both at the same time because I think that looks really cool. But I also have dyslexia, and it's hard to do my motor functions in opposite directions at the same time. Besides the hand movement with the gears on the back, he does feel a lot more easier to carry in your hands. He is definitely pocketable. If you just take off the accessories and stuff, you can easily put them in your pocket and go. You don't have to worry about losing any pieces like you would with this guy. And you do get to move his head, and you can move his little ears. Overall, I think, I almost think smaller is better in a lot of ways, and I don't think that these two models should technically be compared. I think they both stand on their own right, and just because you have one does not mean you should sell the other one, or one or the other, I think a collector should have both of these to be equally right, but that's just my opinion. If you haven't got it yet, you can wait for a sale. I don't think it's gonna hurt to buy it at $100. It is a really easy build to do. Just know that the first, I think, 4 bags is building Grogu alone out of 11 bags. And then the 6 bags after that is to build the hover pram, and then with 1 bag with a stand and all the little extra, like, display plaque. Where with the older one, you are definitely going to get all the bags to build the character. So keep that in mind. It is smaller, but I think it's its own thing. And with that, guys, I don't have much more to say. If you guys want to support the LEGO channel, there is 2 ways to do so. You guys can hit the thank you button right down below. Help leave a small donation. I would super appreciate that. Equally as important, you guys can hit the subscribe button and follow along with all the cool things we're doing, like building the child and Grogu. As usual, share the video with your friends. Hit the thumbs up, the like button. Up next on the channel, we're going to be hitting the Series 27 minifigures. We're going to unbox them all. I think I got all 12. We'll see if Falcon Bricks is right in that video. And on that one, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good one.